Have you ever stopped to think about how learning is, well, structured? From a huge national education policy all the way down to a simple course handout, there's a master plan at work. Today, we're going to deconstruct that blueprint, and we'll start with two words you've heard a million times but maybe can't quite pin down: curriculum and syllabus.
So yeah, it all kicks off with this really common point of confusion. We hear these words thrown around all the time, right? But what actually separates a curriculum from a syllabus? And hey, where does a program fit into all of this? That's exactly what we're going to untangle.
Okay, to get a real handle on these big, kind of abstract ideas, we're going to use a simple metaphor for this whole explainer. I want you to imagine we're not designing a course, we're building an entire city from scratch. Trust me, this is going to help us see how all the different pieces fit together perfectly.
All right, first things first. We have to start with the highest possible view, like we're in a satellite, looking down on the entire landscape. This is the realm of the curriculum.
So in our metaphor, the curriculum is the master city plan. It's not about one single building or one little street. It is the grand vision for the entire metropolis. It lays out the city's purpose, where the major districts go, the infrastructure, and, crucially, how we'll know if the city is a success. It's the whole system, the whole shebang.
Now, check this out. What's so interesting about this more formal definition is just how comprehensive it is. It's not just about what is taught, but it's also about who is doing the teaching, who is learning, and even the materials they're using. It just confirms that curriculum is the entire ecosystem of learning.
And building this city, it follows a pretty clear process. First, you got to do a needs analysis. What do the citizens, our students, actually need? Then you set goals for the city. And only then do you get to the design phase, picking your teaching methods, and finally, evaluation. Did our city do what we wanted it to? And notice this, syllabus design is just one single step in this much, much bigger process.
Okay, so we've got our master city plan. Now, let's see how that grand vision gets built out into the specific parts of the city. We're zooming in now, from that satellite view right down to street level.
And this is where the whole hierarchy really just clicks into place. If the curriculum is the big city plan, then a program, like a whole degree program, is the detailed plan for a specific neighborhood. And the syllabus? Well, that's even more specific. It's the architectural blueprint for a single house inside that neighborhood. See how it works?
Looking at them side by side like this makes the distinction crystal clear. A program is a much bigger thing that actually contains syllabuses. It worries about stuff like training the faculty and the overall goals, while the syllabus is just laser-focused on the content and structure of one specific course.
But wait, here's a little twist. You'd think the architect always starts with the big city plan and then works their way down to the individual house, right? Well, not necessarily. It turns out there are different ways to approach the whole construction project.
Yup, it turns out there isn't just one way to build our educational city. In fact, there are three major design approaches, and the one you pick completely changes the relationship between all these parts. Let's break them down.
So the traditional way is forward design. You start with the content, the syllabus, the blueprint for the house, and you build everything out from there. But you could also try central design, where you begin with some revolutionary new teaching method and then build the whole curriculum around it. Or, and this is the one you see everywhere today, backward design. This model starts at the very end. It asks, what measurable skill should a student have when they walk out the door? Then you work backward from there to design everything, the lessons, the materials, the tests, to hit that specific outcome. It's so popular because it fits perfectly with our modern focus on clear results and job readiness.
So, we've laid down the classic foundation of our city. But, a modern city plan has to account for skyscrapers, smart grids, and high-speed transit. So, let's look at the digital upgrade to this whole blueprint.
A modern syllabus isn't just a static piece of paper anymore. It's an interactive experience. Educators now have this incredible digital toolkit. They can build immersive lessons with virtual reality. They can use gamification to boost motivation, or pull from this massive global library of open educational resources. The fundamental what we teach is now being delivered in these incredibly dynamic, brand new ways.
And all this tech is also fundamentally changing the how of learning. The big goal here is to get away from that old one-size-fits-all model. So now you have adaptive technologies that literally create unique learning paths for every single student, adjusting the difficulty as they go. And then you have concepts like microlearning, which deliver knowledge in these perfect, bite-sized chunks right to your phone. It's all about making learning way more flexible and deeply personal.
And finally, technology is giving that last crucial step, evaluation, a complete upgrade. I mean, forget waiting weeks to get a grade back on a final exam. Today, learning analytics can track student engagement in real time, so you can see where they're struggling before the test. AI tools can give instant feedback on assignments, and digital portfolios let students show off their skills in a much richer, more authentic way than a single letter grade ever could.
So, after all that, if you remember just one thing, let it be this. The curriculum is the big philosophical why. Why are we even teaching this? The program is the strategic how. How are we going to organize everything to get it done? And the syllabus is the tactical what. What specifically are we going to teach in this class, on this day? Why, how, and what? Simple.
Which brings us to a really fascinating final thought. I mean, if AI can eventually create a perfectly personalized learning path for every single student, adapting in real time to their needs, what happens to the fixed, pre-planned blueprint of the syllabus? Does it just disappear? Or does it evolve into something else entirely? That's a question we're all going to be answering very, very soon.